Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Paul, and today we have another helpful discussion for English learners.
Hello everyone, I'm Lena. We are very happy to see you again. Today's topic is very interesting and very useful for beginners who want to improve their English.
Yes, today we are going to talk about how to learn English anywhere. Many people think they can only learn English in a classroom or at home with books.
That's true, but in reality, learning English is not limited to one place. You can practice and improve your English almost anywhere if you use the right methods.
That sounds very encouraging for learners who have busy schedules.
Exactly. Even if you have a job, school, or other responsibilities, you can still find small opportunities during the day to practice English.
So in today's conversation, we will share simple and practical tips that beginners can use to learn English anywhere.
Yes, and these tips are easy to follow and can become part of your daily routine.
If you are a beginner and want to improve your English without depending on a classroom, stay with us until the end of this video.
Let's begin!
Lena, many beginners say they don't have enough time to study English. What advice would you give them?
One important thing learners should understand is that learning English does not always require long study hours. You can practice English while doing your daily activities.
That's interesting. Can you give some examples?
Of course. For example, when you are walking, cooking, or doing household work, you can practice thinking in English. You can describe what you are doing using simple sentences.
So someone might say something like, I am cooking dinner, or I am cleaning my room.
Exactly. These small sentences may seem simple, but they help your brain become more comfortable with English.
That means learners can turn everyday activities into language practice.
Yes, and this method helps beginners develop the habit of using English regularly without needing extra time.
Another place where people spend a lot of time is during travel. Many people travel every day when they go to work, school, or other places. They might sit on a bus, train, or subway for several minutes, or even for a long time. Do you think learners can use that time to practice English?
Absolutely. Travel time can actually become a very useful opportunity for learning English. Many people think that they can only study English when they sit at a desk with a book, but that is not always necessary. Even when you are traveling, you can turn that time into a learning moment.
That sounds like a very practical idea. So instead of just sitting and waiting during the journey, learners can use that time to improve their English skills.
Exactly. For example, learners can listen to English audio lessons, podcasts, or simple English conversations while they are traveling. Listening is a very powerful way to improve language skills because it helps your brain become familiar with the sounds and rhythm of the language.
That makes sense. When people listen to English regularly, they start understanding words and sentences more naturally.
Yes, and listening during travel does not require extra effort. You can simply put on your headphones and listen to English content while you sit on the bus or train. Over time, this habit can greatly improve your pronunciation, vocabulary, and listening skills.
That sounds like a very productive way to use travel time, instead of just scrolling through social media.
Exactly. Even if the journey is short, like 10 or 15 minutes, it can still help. If you practice listening to English every day during your travel time, those small minutes will add up and make a big difference over time.
So even a short daily journey can become a valuable learning opportunity.
Yes, and the best part is that you don't need any special equipment or preparation. Just your phone and a pair of headphones can turn your travel time into an English learning session.
These days, almost everyone carries a smartphone with them all the time. People use their phones for communication, entertainment, and many other daily tasks. Do you think smartphones can also help beginners learn English anywhere?
Yes, definitely. Smartphones can be incredibly helpful for language learning. In fact, they are one of the most convenient tools for beginners because they allow learners to practice English anytime and anywhere.
That's interesting. So learners don't always need books or classrooms.
Exactly. With a smartphone, learners have access to a huge amount of English learning content. For example, they can watch English videos, listen to conversations, or follow lessons designed specifically for beginners.
That means learners can practice English even when they have only a few minutes of free time.
Yes, that's one of the biggest advantages. For example, if someone is waiting in a line, sitting in a waiting room, or taking a short break during work, they can quickly watch a short English lesson or listen to a few minutes of an English conversation.
That makes learning very flexible and convenient.
Exactly. Smartphones also offer many language learning applications that help learners practice vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and sentence building. These apps often include interactive exercises that make learning more engaging and enjoyable.
That sounds like a fun way to learn.
Yes. And another benefit is that learners can repeat lessons as many times as they want. If they don't understand something the first time, they can simply replay the lesson and listen again.
So learning with a phone allows learners to practice at their own pace.
Exactly. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of practice each day on a smartphone can gradually improve a learner's English skills. The key is to use those small moments during the day to practice consistently.
That sounds like a very practical method for busy people.
Yes, because almost everyone carries a phone with them. If learners use their phones wisely, they can turn it into a powerful tool for improving their English anywhere.
Many beginners often say that they want to practice speaking English, but they don't have anyone around them who speaks English. Some people live in places where very few people speak the language, so they feel they have no partner to practice with. In that situation, what can learners do to improve their speaking skills?
That is a very common problem for many English learners, but the good news is that you do not always need another person to practice speaking. One very useful and effective method is speaking English with yourself. It may sound a little unusual at first, but it is actually a powerful way to practice and improve your confidence.
That sounds interesting. How exactly can beginners start doing this?
Beginners can start by describing simple things around them. For example, they can talk about what they are doing at that moment or what they plan to do next. Even very simple sentences are helpful. For example, someone might say, "I am preparing my lunch. I'm going to work now. I need to finish my tasks today. I am practicing English right now."
Those sentences are very simple, but they still help learners practice speaking.
Exactly. The goal is not to create perfect sentences, but to train your mind to think and speak in English. When learners talk to themselves regularly, their brain becomes more comfortable with forming English sentences.
So this method helps build confidence.
Yes, it does. When learners practice speaking alone, they don't feel embarrassed or nervous. They can speak freely, repeat sentences, and correct themselves without worrying about what others think.
That sounds like a very practical solution for beginners.
Absolutely. Even a few minutes of self-talk every day can improve speaking skills and make learners feel more confident when they speak with other people later.
Learning a new language can sometimes feel difficult, especially when learners only focus on grammar or textbooks. Do you think there are more enjoyable ways to learn English?
Yes, definitely. Learning English should not always feel like hard study. In fact, one of the best ways to improve your English is through entertainment. Activities like watching movies, listening to music, or watching English shows can make learning both fun and effective.
That sounds like a great way to learn without feeling bored.
Exactly. When learners watch English movies or television shows, they are exposed to real conversations. They hear how people naturally speak, how they pronounce words, and how they use different expressions in everyday situations.
So entertainment can help learners understand natural English better.
Yes, it can. For example, when watching a movie, learners might hear common phrases like, "How are you doing?" "That sounds great." "I understand what you mean." These phrases are often used in daily conversations, so hearing them repeatedly helps learners remember them more easily.
That makes learning feel more natural and enjoyable.
Exactly. Music can also help learners improve their listening skills and pronunciation. When people listen to English songs, they become familiar with new words and rhythms of the language.
And I guess learners can repeat lines from movies or songs as practice.
Yes, repeating lines is a very effective technique. It helps improve pronunciation and fluency because learners are copying natural speech patterns.
So entertainment can become a powerful learning tool.
Absolutely. When learners enjoy the process, they stay motivated and practice more often. That is why learning English through entertainment can be both fun and very helpful.
Lena, we have discussed many ways beginners can learn English anywhere, whether they are traveling, using their phone, or even speaking to themselves. But many learners start practicing for a few days and then stop. What do you think is the most important habit for someone who truly wants to improve their English?
That's a very important question. In my opinion, the most important thing for learning any language is consistency. It is not necessary to study for many hours every day. What really matters is practicing a little bit every day without stopping.
So practicing regularly is more important than studying for a long time once in a while.
Exactly. For example, if someone studies English for 3 hours only once a week, they may forget many things in between. But if they practice English for just 10 or 15 minutes every day, their brain keeps interacting with the language continuously.
That sounds like a much more effective approach.
Yes, it is. Small daily practice helps learners remember vocabulary, improve pronunciation, and become more comfortable using English in real situations.
So even a short practice session can be valuable.
Absolutely. For example, someone might listen to an English podcast in the morning, speak a few sentences in English during the day, and watch a short English video in the evening. These small activities together create a strong learning habit.
That makes learning English feel less stressful and more natural.
Exactly.
Before we finish today's conversation, Lena, do you have any final advice for beginners who want to learn English anywhere?
Yes, I would like to remind learners that learning English does not depend on being in a perfect place or having expensive resources. What really matters is your motivation and willingness to practice.
So learners should not wait for the perfect moment to start learning.
Exactly. You can practice English at home, while traveling, during short breaks, or even while doing everyday activities. The important thing is to use every small opportunity to interact with the language.
That's a very positive and encouraging message.
Yes, and learners should also remember that progress takes time. Nobody becomes fluent in a single day. But if you stay patient and practice regularly, you will gradually see improvement.
That must feel very rewarding for learners.
Absolutely. Every new word you learn and every sentence you speak is a step forward. Over time, these small steps lead to big progress.
Thank you so much for sharing these helpful tips today.
You're welcome. We hope this conversation inspires you to practice English wherever you are.
Thank you everyone for watching and learning with us.
Keep practicing your English every day and never stop learning. See you in the next episode. Bye everyone and happy